billion more with a B. I swear, man, I say this all the time, but they got money for everything and everybody except for us.
Hey, again, look up the Office of New America for those that don't know. They're giving out money like it's water. I'll bust the water faucet, you know what I mean? They're giving out money to everybody, but giving it out to us like it's water.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Did you hear the good news?
What's that, Wani?
Italy has elected a woman who is anti-immigration, wants to deport all of those people, and wants to make Italy for Italians.
I'm not mad at that. I used to live in Italy. I lived in Italy for 3 years. I'm not even mad at that.
I'm loving it. And then people around there are like, well, why don't we do it? Well, how come we can't do it? Oh, this may spread. I believe this is going to spread.
Yeah, and most of the Italians that's over here, you probably have to pry them loose with a crowbar to get them to go back to their motherland.
Yeah. Certain parts, I know Sister Wani knows, certain parts of Italy are nice, though. Like, I used to live in, I'm pretty sure you know Sister Wani. You ever been to, you've been in Naples, right?
Yes, I did. I saw some African prostitutes there jumping out.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of African prostitutes, like literally right outside the base. And like we would leave in our car, I leave to go get some wine or something, and they would literally be outside in between like buildings, creating a fire just to stay warm, like huddled up like literal like animals. I'm not trying to denigrate them, but that's what was happening.
No, I saw them. They were actually living in a wooded area on a mattress. Yes. And I was like, what is this? I mean, it was just I didn't see the fire, though. I did see them jumping in front of cars like they couldn't be hit by cars.
Oh, yeah. So I used to live in Grishniana di Aversa, and we would, jump off the autostrade, and I forget what's that area. I forget the name of the area. It's been so long, so it's been in Italy. But yeah, it would be right outside the base, man. Just with fire, just lighting fires, trying to stay warm. Tons of makeup, man, just trying to trick off on military guys. I was like, man, these folks are crazy.
But I have questions about why Italian men have this type of taste in prostitutes, street prostitutes living in the street, literally.
That's a good question. I never, obviously we're not allowed to, do stuff like that, mess with prostitutes and stuff. So I still know a couple cats over there, though. I could reach out and see if I can ask the question.
Yeah,
sorry, dude.
Oh, no, that's cool. Real quick, we're going to go ahead and just start it up. I want everybody to understand the nice space is about the actual media coverage of two sports stars. One a Hall of Fame football player, and the other one is a championship caliber coach, the Boston Celtic coach, Ime Udoka, who I guess everybody pretty much heard by now. He's his fiance is Nia Long, of course, a Hollywood actress that we all know from Friday and Fresh Prince and a number of things. Well, Udoka has been suspended for the season by the Boston Celtics for allegedly, and I guess we can't really say allegedly no more, but supposedly having an affair with co-workers and whatnot. The Boston Celtics, all kind of rumors are swirling around at this point right now that the women are married, that it's multiple women, that it's the actual vice president. One of the vice presidents of the Boston Celtics is one of his wives and whatnot. You have rumors swirling around that actual basketball player actually broke the news to the people and let them know that he was sleeping around with the woman and this and that. So he's already been suspended. He had three options. One was to quit, one was to be fired, and the other one was to be suspended. Now, he chose to be suspended for a year, but a lot of people believe that after that suspension ends, that he will no longer actually be with the actual Boston Celtics as well either. So that's a big issue right now. And a lot of people, and I think Umar Johnson actually had an actual video talking about the actual double standard that he felt like, why is he the only one that's really been, pressed like that? What about the actual married women who are actually married that actually work for the organization as well? Like, where's their punishment? I know people say, well, their punishment is to come and this and that. So you have this feeling that, and from what we understand, we know at least, or we suspect, I won't say suspect, that at least one of those women are a white woman. So, you have a lot of people, kind of like scratching their head and this and that. Like, we talk about the gender thing. We talk about this and that. We talk about women being treated equally and whatnot. So Should this female employee of the Boston Celtics, should she be suspended for an entire year just as well as he? So that's a big issue that we're gonna be talking about tonight, and I want to hear everybody's thoughts and this and that on it. And I know Nia Long, like I say, an actress that a lot of us we've seen for 20, 30 years, Boys in the Hood and Friday and everything else. So she's kind of having to wear that embarrassment to a certain degree. I don't fault the sister or whatever. She can't help what a man did or whatever. And I'm not trying to condone what he did. At the same time, he is not a married man. I know he's supposed to be engaged and that's his fiance, but he's not a married man. These women or the woman or whoever that he was allegedly sleeping with, I throw that word out allegedly, she is married. She's married. So if anybody should be, if anybody should be hit equally just as hard, it should be her behind, because she's a married woman. She didn't have to sleep with the man. And I know anything else, normally when you get this stuff, when you start talking about a lot of times with interracial messing around, this and that, eventually we start hearing that, okay, they had that was talking. Let me throw the word allegedly out again, that they were dating and seeing each other. Then it was broken off, and then it started getting to the part where we know this comes up. It started getting uncomfortable for her. It started bordering on harassment and this and that. So when you start hearing it's getting uncomfortable and it's harassment and this and that, which was a consensual relationship that shouldn't have took place in the first place, now it's bordering on harassment. It's bordering on he's hitting on me, he's bothering me, he's doing this, he's doing that. So yeah, y'all, we gonna touch on this. And the big one that I really want to touch on is the BrettFarve thing. I really got to touch on that. Wani Ray, I'm gonna let y'all the first two up, but I got to go ahead and I got to touch on this. This thing's been going on since 2020. It really 2021 is when it really came on the scene. The Mississippi Free Press has something that says it has an article that from last year. We curated on Newstoter, and it's two articles. One was from NBC News, and the other one is from the Mississippi Free Press. I want to touch on the Mississippi Free Press because this thing here really gets everything rolling. It kind of lets you know that, yeah, BrettFarve is into this, but there's so many different people also, cheating the system down there that I just really have to touch on that. So tonight, convo, we're going to be talking about Udoka, and we're going to be talking about BrettFarve. Y'all feel free to go back and forth. If you feel like you're feeling one topic more than the other, that's fine. You know how we do. We're going to let everybody go ahead and freestyle and flow up in here. Y'all, please go ahead and share out the room. Please go ahead and share out the room. Wanda, you're going to be the first speaker. Ray, you're going to be next. I just need to touch on this real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and get it rolling. It says, auditor man's BrettFarve returned $828,000 in illegally spent welfare funds. This was from last year, back in October 2021, I believe. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to connect this with what's going on today. NFL star BrettFarve must return $828,000 he received from welfare funds that should have gone to needy families. Mississippi State Auditor Shad White said in a statement today, the famed quarterback in Mississippi native received $1.1 million in funds from two nonprofits whose founder has since been indicted on state and federal charges for their alleged role in the largest embezzlement scheme in the state history. White said Favre accepted the money for speaking engagements that he never attended for Families First for Mississippi, one of the nonprofits involved in the alleged scheme. The football star said that he did not know the funds were illegal when he accepted them. Months after the news of the scandal first broke last year, the auditor announced in May 2020 that Favre had returned a portion of the funds. White said he believed at the time Favre was acting in good faith and that he had seen no records indicating Mr. Favre knew that temporary assistance for needy families was a program that served as a source of the money he was paid. In a statement today, however, White said the recipients of the misspent TANF funds, including Favre and Favre Enterprises, must repay the money within 30 days or face a civil lawsuit. This afternoon, Mississippi Today's Anna Wolf reported that the letter Favre received from White said the illegal expenditures and unlawful dispositions were made when you knew or had reason to know through exercise of reasonable diligence that the expenditures were illegal and or the dispositions were unlawful. Wolf was the first to report on Favre's involvement in early 2020. Today, White cited the completion of a federal forensic audit of the Mississippi Department of Human Resources as demand for the letters. MDHS former executive John Davis is awaiting trial on embezzlement charges. Now that the federal audit is complete and we're in position to demand the illegally spent welfare funds be returned to the state, White said today. Others who received letters from the auditor today include former WWE wrestler Ted DiBiase Sr., known as the $1 Million Man, who White said must pay back $722,299 that his Christian ministry, Heart of David Ministries, received. DiBiase's son, Ted DiBiase Jr., a retired WWE wrestler who White said owes $3.9 million. DiBiase's other retired WWE wrestler son, Brett DiBiase, who White said owes $225,950. Nancy New, the nonprofit operator and private school owner facing embezzlement charges, who White said owes $2,589. Zach New, Nancy New's son, a fellow private school operator who White said owes $74,261. The Marcus Dupree Foundation, owned by former NFL players of the same name, which White said owes $789,534. The Republican auditor also issued a demand to Davis, the former DHS director, for $96.3 million, including interest for his role authorizing over $77 million in legal TANF spending. White also sent a demand for $378,791 to Davis' nephew, Austin Smith, and one for $674,715 to JTS Enterprises and Transmissional Ventures. Davis' brother-in-law Brian Jeff Smith controls JTS Enterprises, two nonprofits, the Mississippi Community Education and the Family Resource Center, either misspent or improperly dispersed portions of $77 million, meaning the money was ultimately misspent by a vendor to the nonprofit. The auditor's statement today reads, as a result, the board and leadership of MCEC was served with a demand for $68 million. FRC's board and leadership was served with a demand for $15 million. More demands are possible. Former Mississippi Governor Philip Bryant had to close ties with Nancy New, and he celebrated the launch of Families First for Mississippi with her in 2016. The News have given thousands to Republican campaigns in Mississippi, including to the current governor, Tate Reeves. In 2019, Reeves' campaign filmed a campaign ad at the News private school in Jackson, New Summit, touting his support for public education. He has since returned their donations and renounced the mother-son duo. Neither White nor prosecutors have alleged that the current or former governor were involved in the scheme. In March, federal prosecutors indicted the News on additional charges alleging that Nancy and Zachary New conspired to fraudulently obtain more than $2 million in public education funds and use it to pay for teachers' salaries at New Summit School in Jackson. The News schools have been among the top recipients of legal public education funds under a private school voucher program that Reeves, as lieutenant governor and Senate president, helped create, which Bryan signed into law. The News, Davis, and DHS employee Latimer Smith pleaded not guilty last year to state charges over DHS scandal. Brett DiBiase accepted a plea agreement last year and pleaded guilty to making false statements in front of a Hinds County judge in exchange for becoming a witness in the case. Prosecutors withdrew a conspiracy charge against him. The only person charged in the scandal is Ann McGrew, Nancy New's former accountant at the Mississippi Community Education Center. On Monday, McGrew pleaded guilty as part of a plea deal in exchange for testimony against others involved in the scheme, including Nancy New. In his statement today, White noted that the demands for repayment issued today are civil in nature, not criminal, and that it is up to the Mississippi Attorney General Lynn Finch to enforce them in court if repayment is not made within 30 days. I'm grateful that DHS Director Bob Anderson has worked with the Attorney General's office to hire an attorney to recover these funds, White said. These demands serve as the next step in the recovery process. If there is more money that the Attorney General believes has been misspent, then we have identified in these demands we stand ready to help them investigate if needed. More demands are possible. And here's a quick correction to the article. It says, an earlier version of this story conflated the amount that auditor Shad White said Ted DiBiase Sr. and his son Ted DiBiase Jr. owed. Also, Nancy New was a founding director of two nonprofits involved in DHS scandal, not their owner. She was, however, the owner of a private school in Jackson mentioned elsewhere in the story. Get to you real quick, Wani, and real quick, Ray. And this is from the NBC News. This is a recent article. It says Mississippi officials plead guilty in welfare scandal that involves BrettFarve. This is from NBC News, curator on Newstoter. A key figure in Mississippi's welfare spending scandal has pleaded guilty to federal fraud charges under an arrangement that signals he may be cooperating, according to court records. John Davis directed Mississippi's welfare agency while it doled out millions of dollars in federal welfare money to projects investigators now say were improper, including a new volleyball facility requested by former Hall of Fame NFL quarterback BrettFarve that benefited his daughter. According to court records, Davis agreed to plead guilty to conspiracy and commit fraud and theft, charges that together carry a maximum of 15 years in prison. At Davis' direction, Mississippi's welfare agency provided federal funds to two nonprofit organizations and then directed the two nonprofit organizations to fraudulently award contracts to various entities and individuals for social services that were never provided, the Justice Department said in a news release. The plea represents the first federal prosecution action in the 2-year-old scandal, though another main player has been indicted on unrelated federal charges. Davis worked for then-Governor Phil Bryant, who has consistently denied that he was aware that the federal welfare money was being used for projects in violation of state and federal law. As NBC News has previously reported, Davis was involved in discussions with Bryant and Farve about securing millions of dollars for the volleyball facility. Farve also secured $3.2 million for a drug company in which he invested, according to court records. So he also got $3.2 million for a company that he invested in. Nancy New, a former nonprofit executive who was also cooperating after a guilty plea, distributed the money in consultation with Davis and the governor, court records show. In complex investigation, prosecutors often try to secure cooperation from some defendants who they hope will testify against people who directed them. The only figure higher than Davis, the welfare director, is Bryant. He has denied wrongdoing. Farve also has denied wrongdoing through his lawyer, who acknowledged that Farve has been interviewed by the FBI. There is no indication Farve is a target of investigation, and he says he did not know the state grants came from federal welfare funds. The scandal has drawn outrage in part because Mississippi is the poorest state in the nation and one of the stingiest when it comes to the number of families who are deemed eligible for federal welfare help. All right, Wani, Ray, y'all got it? Go ahead, Wani.
Hey, thank you for reading all that. So why isn't he being charged at all? Because he doesn't have any public support. White people are calling him an a-hole and trashing him and saying he should be removed from the Hall of Fame. So why is he getting away with this when nobody seems to be a support system for him? They're calling him everything, everything. Okay, so I don't get it. Who is resisting giving him any punishment?
Now we got to remember now, Wani, he is in Mississippi too, of all places, and this has been they've been talking about this for that I can remember for at least a year or whatever, that it's been making news and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they've been talking about him robbing, basically, swindling the welfare funds and this and that. But look how long that it's really taken. Like I say, now we're talking about a basketball coach sleeping with a married woman, 2 consensual adults.
Right.
It's wrong. But that's garnered national attention. That's on CBS. That's on MSNBC. That's on Fox. That's on everything. While they've been trying to sweep little Brett under the rug for the longest here.
Now they're trying to sweep him under the rug, and he's claiming that he didn't know all that was happening. Now, on the other case, you're absolutely right. These women are married, and they should get in trouble, just like he is. And if they have some sort of morality clauses or ethics clauses that he's broken, then okay, he gets suspended. But he's not married. The other people are. And so it does seem unfair.
You broke up just a second at the end, Wani. I couldn't, I heard you say that it seems like they are, but you broke up just a second at the end.
No, I just said that the people he was fooling around with are married, according to what you were saying, and they didn't get in trouble, but he's not married and he did. I think he probably broke some ethics clauses and some morality clauses and some image things that they didn't like, so that's probably why he's getting in trouble. But the other people should definitely be punished in the same way. I don't see how they wouldn't be.
Yeah, I agree too. And here's another thing, and I know Stephen A. Smith, and a lot of people not fans of Stephen A. Smith. I'm no huge fan of him either. Stephen A. Smith says something to a certain degree that, before more and more details started definitely coming out. Stephen A. Smith said, "Let's not pretend that there's a bunch of," which was surprising for him because I know how Stephen A. likes to toe that line, but there's basically a lot of white people, a lot of powerful white people, a lot of people in employment have affairs and stuff all the time, and they're not getting drugged the way this guy here is getting drugged through the mud and whatnot. Then you had this black lady on ESPN. I can't remember her name. I see Carissa is up in the spot. Carissa may actually know, but she's on ESPN and she basically was saying that Stephen A. was attacking women and this and that. That when he started talking about the white folks having affairs and this and that he started attacking women, which it takes two to tango. You can't have an affair. I mean, if you're gonna have an affair, if a man's gonna sleep with a woman, the woman has to be willing and whatnot. So, it started trying to play like the little gender divide thing as well too. So, Ray, I know you had your hand up. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, fam, I'm gonna be real brief. I mean, let's just go ahead and say the obvious. Obviously, he's a black coach in the NBA, which we know that aren't that many. Is he going to be punished differently? Yes. The brother's worth, something like $12 million, making $3 million a year. He's dating one of the finest actresses in all of Hollywood. Like, brother, you already won. Like, what in the world could you be risking all that money and your fiance for some white cooch or whoever he's sleeping with? That's all I'm gonna say. He really messed up on that because I can speak for myself. I had a crush on Nia Long coming up from back in the Friday days and all the other movies she was in, like Big Mama's House and Soul Food, Boys in the Hood, etc. So his brother really messed up, man. But he's not gonna be punished the same. And BrettFarve is full of shit. I definitely want to say that. The reason why he's not gonna be prosecuted or isn't getting criticized like everyone else is because he's BrettFarve. He's a Packers legend. He set all these records. He was an Iron Man for 20 years. He went 500 something games without missing a game and all sorts of stuff. Won the Super Bowl for the Packers.
He also won all those games without missing a game because he was also, as he admitted later on, was addicted to painkillers, and he never got suspended for it or anything else like that as well. So yeah, just wanted to put that in there.
Yeah, so I just wanted to definitely say that, man. He's not going to be punished because of who he is. Like I said, he's an NFL legend. When you talk about all-time quarterbacks, his name is in the conversation. So that's why he's not getting pretty much the pushback that anyone else would get. And I'm going to land there.
And see, he also, like I say, I added in that last part too that he also got $3.2 million, to invest in the company as well too. So it wasn't just the actual money, for the actual volleyball thing as well too. Brett also got additional funds as well too that I also mentioned in there as well. Also, so let me go ahead and kick it to you, Black Nate.
Hey, real quick before you go to the next person, wasn't there text messages showing that he knew what he was doing? I remember seeing some text message that said something to the extent of, is there any way that the NFL can track this or the media or something can track this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Professor Black Truth broke that down earlier. He broke that down and he was talking about that. So shout out to Professor Black Truth. If y'all get a chance, check that out. Professor, he went in depth. I mean, he broke it down detail wise. So Professor also talked about that exactly what you said about the text. Like, can I basically be, is this basically gonna come back on me and this and that? So shout out to Professor Black Truth for going ahead and breaking that down as always.
All right, I'm gonna land there.
No problem, man. Let's go ahead and get to you. We're going to go Black Native, Mr. Engaging, Nordis, and Dizza. I know Rhythm, so I'm going to say Dizza. So we're going to get to you. And DJ, I know you got your hand up, so you're a co-host, so you can come in as well.
Yeah, I just want to say, that information on the text message has been out from the moment this story broke, a year or two ago now, at this point in the game. Those messages and that evidence has been out there. So, Professor Black Truth, he's just putting the icing on the cake the way he be breaking it down. But go ahead.
Hey, Newstoter.
Hey, what's going on?
Ray. What's up, DJ? Yeah, I
actually watched, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I actually watched Undisputed with Shannon Sharp to see the reaction that everybody was talking about. They tried to say Shannon Sharp was the one that broke the story. And I went and watched it this morning, and he was going off. And yes, the text message said, hint, hint, do you think that this could possibly get out and to the media? And he put hint, hint. And the woman, I think she was the mayor at the time, said no. So in other words, he knew he was stealing. He was robbing the poor to get to the rich. He's the reverse Robin Hood. He should be, all of his trophies and his image should be snatched out of the Hall of Fame. Let's not forget what they did to Michael Vick, who wasn't even home, and he did jail time for dog fights when he wasn't even in the vicinity. He was somewhere in a whole nother state. They didn't give a damn. This man has stole over $5 million, $1 million for the volleyball stadium for his daughter, and you just put me on it is another $3 million to invest in the pharmaceutical company. And I also want to know, who were these two nonprofit organizations that funneled the money? Because see, they were like that's what they did. They got the money from social service and funneled the money through a nonprofit organization, and then funneled the money on over to BrettFarve's bank account, the governor's bank account, the mayor's bank account. This are higher ups. So yeah, and I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised. This story, like you said, has been since like 2019, and
at least 2020.
And we're just talking about it now. This is how they cover.
And that's what I'm talking about. So this has been going on for almost 3 years. But they had to have 2019. You right? 2019, 2020 it started gaining traction. 2021 it started really rolling. Now we're in 2022, and like I say, but this guy here that's sleeping around. Let's be for real. With a lot of athletes and a lot of coaches and a lot of people in entertainment do, not sitting up here justifying it. They pretty much, a lot of people already suspect that this man may never coach in the NBA ever again because of this whole incident right here.
So, what is his name? Ime Udoka?
Ime Udoka.
Oh, okay. Is this Nia Long's husband or fiance?
That's her fiance and the father of her child, I believe. I believe they have one child together. I'm not sure if they have more, but I know they have one.
I mean, is that really newsworthy? I mean, like again, you noticed it came out right around they knew BrettFarve, what was going on with him was literally going to hit. It's been out, but nobody was paying attention, so they figured they'd try to get ahead of it and say, drop a shiny ball, dangle another shiny ball, carrot in the other direction, and like, hey, don't look over there, look over here, because if he had an affair, that's between him and Nia Long. That's nobody else's business. Now, if she wants to deal with him after that, then that's on her. They can go to relationship counseling, but that's not a crime. That's not a crime to cheat. It's not a good thing, but stealing close to $5 million, embezzling close to $5 million is a crime. And BrettFarve should go down and be locked up and get his whole shit snatched out. He shouldn't have any kind of wars, whatever. They need to burn it, and that's what. And Wani said, nobody, the white people ain't backing him. So who's really, backing him? Is it ESPN? Is it all these other news sports channels? So I'll land on that.
Like I say, y'all guys, we got to remember now, BrettFarve is the heart and pride of the damn Mississippi, the poorest nation and the poorest state in the country, the one that scrutinized poor people for actually trying to get resources and stuff like that. How stingy they are when it comes to black people trying to get a little something, whatever. So remember that this guy here, like I say, BrettFarve, he played college ball. He's from Mississippi. He played college ball at Southern Miss. Like Ray said, he's a Hall of Famer. He's considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. BrettFarve has always had the media eating out the palm of his hands. He was one that like I say, he came out, he told everybody he was addicted to painkillers, this and that, didn't face no suspension, didn't face no scrutiny, didn't face nothing, this and that. So BrettFarve has always been a media dog. Even when he's been an a-hole and they call him an a-hole, they still love him. So BrettFarve, retire, come back. Retire, come back. Jerk people off, pretty much do whatever he wants to do. And the fact that this is really, the only reason is because it's such a paper trail that they actually pushing it now. Like, when I was reading that article, the names is not the $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase used to be a big time wrestler when I was a kid growing up. You know what I'm saying? Ted DiBiase and two of his sons and stuff, got funds and got money and stuff like that. You saw like the long list of people and stuff like that that was getting paper, getting cheese off of this right here. So BrettFarve is one of many that's been, benefiting off of the welfare system in Mississippi. Mr. Engaging, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yo, yeah, this is insane. Yeah, they need to ban BrettFarve, for real. I think that I'm going to start off with this because I think the only reason why we're even talking about it in this even greater depth is because of what's going on in Mississippi from the water crisis and a lot of other things. And people are looking at these, like, looking more into, like, the financials because a lot of people were talking about the financials. So when you see the misappropriation of funds, that's a little crazy, and especially when you see NFL stars involved in this. I really think that he should be stripped from all his awards, and also he should be locked up in jail. I really think they should go as far as they need to get hit with white-collar RICOs. These are multiple people that conspired and act to pose harm to even to the black population. I'll go as far as to say this is almost like an indirect hate crime. And some people might say that's a little too extreme, but I look at it as that the majority of the people are black Mississippian people. They were taking resources from more or less from black people. So that's why I look at it and view it as more as like a hate crime or such. Because he wouldn't go up to like Wisconsin and probably do that crap. You get what I mean? So why would he try to pull it down here in Mississippi? And it's not because the people are slow. It's because they're black. So that will be like what I was like speak on about that. The basketball player guy, I'll try to extend my grace to him or whatever. I don't even want to get involved with that because like I'm not saying that. I'm gonna say black men don't cheat, just for the record. So whatever they say about that man, I'm just joking. But
that's fact.
No, we don't cheat. I don't cheat.
Nigerian, bro. Udoka Nigerians, huh? Hold on a second.
All right.
That's not Negro.
Oh, then he gotta hold his own. Then I'm not extending up. He gotta hold
your own up, son. Hold your own up, Udoka.
He took it down from the FBA. So hey, it is what it is. But I want to get back on that BrettFarve though. I really think that they need to get hit with that RICO, that white collar RICO. That's what I'm looking at, and maybe a possible hate crime.
The reason I brought NBA player up, I'm just gonna say NBA player is simply because, like, I see the double standard that goes along with this. I mean, I believe if he was just a white, coach, this thing would have been handled in private. It wouldn't have been aired like this and that. But the fact that the kind of sources Newstoter got, like all of our curators and stuff, all of our sources and stuff been writing about this, publishing it. So we have to speak about it. We have to go ahead and tweet it out as well too. But the fact that I believe that if this had just been a white head coach, young white coach in the NBA, and possibly had a white fiance girlfriend that's a Hollywood star like Nia Long, the equivalent, I really don't think this would have got out to the point like that, and I don't think you would have had the big backlash that you've had that this guy's been facing. So I wanted to pair these two stories right up here together because I felt that it was needed. So that's the only reason why we're talking about it. Because like I said, like Black Native said and Wani said, this could have been handled in private right here. This didn't have to be put out there like that, but they felt the need. And when I see CBS and I see NBC and I see Fox and I see all of these major networks covering this, along with ESPN, which, is a sports station, you expect them to cover it. But when you see all of these major media outlets covering this, and this is like in the actual news cycle, and it's near the top of the news cycle, then, yeah, we got to talk about this. Nordis, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Oh, hey, how are you?
How you doing?
I'm good. Hey to you, hey to Ray, hey to DJ Segway, everybody in the space. Hey, peace, love, and reparations. I came in late, so forgive me. I don't know what all you guys covered, but it's my understanding. Before I get to Ime Udoka, I'm not going to cover the BrettFarve thing because you guys have nailed that coffin. You know, he's out of control. And we know how they are. If it's white, it's right. But back to Ime Udoka, it's my understanding that it's way bigger than just a cheating scandal. So did you guys cover the other allegations?
Well, so far I've heard pretty much we've heard a lot of different allegations. Nothing really been substantiated, but you know, I heard that it could be much deeper as well too. But the main thing that they're talking about is that basically is basically cheating, and you know, from that, and like I say, some people are saying possibly harassment, and it went further than this and that. Some people saying that he was sleeping with multiple, and that's one thing too that I kind of want to wait and hear about, because a lot of times when you have these, especially these interracial relationships, and things go sour and stuff like that, all of a sudden what once was consensual, now it was forced, and I couldn't say no, and he was so big and he was so black and all this other kind of stuff like that too. So I kind of wait and see about this kind of stuff right here, because I've heard things. It was an article published by Black Sports Online. When our curators, they were saying that he got caught by going to the actual woman's house by the actual doorbell and stuff like that. You know, I've heard that it's one of the actual, like I say, vice presidents in the actual in the basketball team, the Boston allegedly. Let's say all this is allegedly. One of the vice presidents of the team, that was one of his wives or something like that. So there's all kind of different rumors floating around right now. At this point, right now, I think Boston is trying to keep it as close to the vest as possible. Who knows exactly what's known and whatnot? But tell me, Nordis, what have you heard?
I heard he got multiple women pregnant. They had talked to him several times. He was a chronic cheater, and they had been trying to work with him, and he just wouldn't stop his behavior. What else did I hear? He was sending like threatening messages or allegedly creepy messages to not just the vice president's wife, but some other women, being aggressive. There's some other shit I didn't get a chance to read up on it, but allegedly, like, he was just doing demeaning things to women staff members. But here's the part that I think is the issue. When they first came out with the allegations, I don't know if you guys noticed, they made it a point to say Ime Udoka was caught in a consensual relationship. So there's some allegedly underlying hints of rape or sexual abuse. So I don't know how much that part is true, but allegedly the parts about the, I guess I shouldn't have to say alleged on this, the pregnancies, the multiple women, the vice president's wife, all that is true. The consensual part, because they were trying to emphasize that. So anyway, that's what I heard. So they said he was just out there wilding out.
Yeah, and one of the former basketball players, Matt Barnes, he was saying that he came out and he kind of defended him, but he had to ease back because it was 100 times worse. He said that he's not going to put it out there when the stuff comes out there, this and that. So at this point, I keep throwing the word around allegedly, because I don't really know. I don't want to go ahead and say this and that or that or that or that, because I haven't heard anything concrete other than, like you said, when it first came out, it was consensual. Okay, and then that's what everybody was wondering, like, well, damn, if it's consensual, okay, yeah, I can understand you slapping him on the wrist, you messing around with a married woman, that's not good for business. You can't do this, you can't do that. And then gradually things have been changing. Sometimes, in some of these organizations and some of these media corporations, they start leaking things out that they want the press to actually know by gradually putting it out there. So at this point, I'm gonna say this right here, if that's the case, if he was doing all this and that, then you can't really defend that. If they talked to him and you got multiple women pregnant and you saw her harassing him and it got physical, like I said, allegedly, because I don't know at this point, I can't say. I know there's people that have sources and this and that. Everybody's careful with their choice of words as well, what they say allegedly, because nobody in this day and age wants to get hit with anything. So allegedly, at this point, I don't really know if it was that, if it had that much traction to it and this and that. If it had that much, then why would the Celtics? This is my problem here. If he was doing all that, the Celtics had been enough right to go ahead and fire him if it was all to that point there. instead of letting the thing completely keep festering. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think they didn't fire him because I honestly, I'm not for sure. Of course, I'm not for sure. But I think the majority of the women were staffers for the Celtics. And so because they were all employees, I don't know, and because it was consensual, I don't know. But from what I'm understanding, it's way worse than we think. And, so initially, we were all like, of course, the black man, they're doing this to him and doing that. But you notice all the players are quiet. Everyone is quiet. So it's bigger than we think.
Hey,
we definitely gonna find out exactly what's going on with it. Go ahead, Ray.
I just want to add this real quick and let you get back to the other speakers. Let's not forget, in 2014, 2015, I might have my years mixed up. BrettFarve used to play for the Jets towards the end of his career.
You faded out real bad for a second.
I can hear him all right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Yeah, I hear you fine.
So back in 2014, 2015, I might have my years mixed up, but BrettFarve was playing for the Jets towards the end of his retirement. And for my people that can remember this, he actually got in trouble because he was sexting some pictures of his pee-pee to a couple of different women and stuff like that. And obviously this was a scandal because he, NFL pass leader, all this other stuff. So they were like, okay, so what are we going to do about this? Do you know that man did not get charged with anything? The only thing he got charged with was lying to the NFL. Like, they were going to suspend him and all sorts of stuff. He literally got a slap on the wrist.
I believe he had gotten a fine, and this was about 2010, because I remember this clearly.
That's why
I think he got a slap on the wrist, but they weren't. Yeah, it was a girl named Jen Stringer or whatever. She used to go to Florida State. She basically was just a damn stadium girl that used to do little selfies and whatnot, and end up blowing up from that and getting a little job with these sports media sites and whatnot. So yeah, she pretty much used her looks and whatnot to pretty much progress her career and whatnot. But yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he did not get. He had to pay a $50,000 fine, but they say he was not in violation. And I remember this in 1990. And then in 1996, he had the alcohol thing going on, and he only got a slap on the wrist, if I'm not mistaken, with that, because he was
addicted to painkillers, and they didn't do anything to him. They never suspended him anything. He came out, he told me he was addicted to painkillers, and everybody pretty much felt sorry for him and said, "Oh wow, great, Brett, you're such a tough guy," and this and that. So they didn't do anything to him.
And Sister Clarissa, you all right? I'm sorry, I did get my years mixed up. That was around 2008, 2009 when that happened. So I apologize. I said 2014.
That's all right. And quiet as it kept, this whole thing with BrettFarve has been starting since 2017 when they tried to plan for all of this to happen, because he tried to recruit Deion Sanders' son to the University, I think, of Mississippi.
And don't forget, that was the reason why the Jets traded him too, because of that sexual assault allegation, and that's why he wound up going to the Vikings.
Yep, that is true. That is true.
I will say this. I'm gonna say this. It wasn't sexual assault. Now, to my knowledge, it was no sexual assault. It was that he was sending inappropriate pictures to an actual woman.
Yeah, inappropriate pictures, but allegedly, quote unquote.
Yeah, let me say allegedly. All that was allegedly. This is just my conjecture.
Yeah, allegedly.
That wasn't allegedly. That was allegedly.
Get the book allegedly.
We're going to just use allegedly. It was a whole big thing here in New York. I remember it clearly, because I was about to graduate from University of Massachusetts, so I knew, and everything was going down.
Carissa, we're gonna get right back to you.
All right.
Just put your hand up, because I know we had a couple people that was in front of you, but we'll go ahead and we'll get back to you. So just put your hand up, because I definitely want to hear. And I know you've been definitely keeping me posted with a lot of this stuff in terms of the actual NBA guy. I'm not going to say this guy's name no more. I'm just going to say that Neil Long's boyfriend.
But it won't allow me to raise my hand. I don't know why.
Oh, it won't allow you. That's sometimes just spaces, man. I don't know what the hell be going on with these spaces, but we got you. I'm gonna get you in here though, so just don't worry about it, because I definitely want to hear your opinion on a lot of different things.
Just real quick, get everybody get in the jumbotron. Get my sis book, the book allegedly. Shout out to Allah. Speaking of allegedly. Let's get that book, y'all. Support the
everybody, real quick in the jumbotron. If you're not following Newstoter, make sure you follow Newstoter and the co-host, and also support us on Cash App. $Newstoter. That's $Newstoter. Once again, that is $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest curator of Black news today in America, breaking top stories, curating top stories from sources that you guys don't even know, don't pay attention to, but still Black-owned sources. So make sure you support Newstoter. When you support Newstoter, you're supporting other Black media sites. So Newstoter.com. Make sure you guys visit Newstoter.com daily, the largest curator of Black news. Is it Dizza? I don't want to mispronounce it. Is it Dizza?
Yeah, it's Dizza, just like RZA and Jizza.
Like RZA. Okay, I thought so. Go ahead, Dizza.
What's up, everybody? I just wanted to go ahead and speak on this topic. I'm familiar with a few things. Whenever I'm not talking about Black empowerment things, I'm on a sports podcast. Let's talk about BrettFarve first. Just go ahead and just knock him out first. We need to be looking at possibly RICO charges, because by the definition that Fonnie Willis is laying out over in Atlanta. Now I'm not trying to cape for Young Thug. If those brothers out there commit crimes, if you shooting people, I'm not gonna cape for you. But the guideline that Fonnie Willis laid out applies directly to this BrettFarve case with the lieutenant governor, the former governor, the lieutenant governor, Ted DiBiase, which I thought he passed away. I'm not trying to make fun of the dead. I thought the brother thought he was gone. But this is disgusting, and this is par for the course. BrettFarve, this dude has so many racial incidents back in the day. If some of y'all recall, him making monkey jokes at opposing players, him doing a lot of racialized things, him being a male chauvinist in terms of how he spoke to a lot of female journalists back in the late '90s. So this is par for the course. He's just a country boy that can just throw a ball real well. He made over $100 million in his playing career, not to mention endorsements and things in his personal life. The man has money up the ass, yet he still found a way to hustle over $8 million from this Mississippi Welfare Fund. So it's completely disgusting. I'm disgusted at ESPN. ESPN has always been on the cool train with Sage Steele, with Malika Andrews, and a few other people that are completely coons and bedwenches over there. But their lack of saying something is really disturbing. Thank God for Shannon Sharpe speaking up on like a national level, but he's only one man and he can only speak for so much. BrettFarve, this guy was sending pictures of his meat. This guy was disgusting. So I cannot. I believe this, but we need to get RICO charges laid out, because by the definition that Fonnie Willis laid out, once again, this falls under the RICO statute. Now, getting back to Ime Udoka, right? So I've heard a few things beyond just what the public knows. Everything I'm going to say is just alleged, because it hasn't hit the news wire just yet. From what I understand, like, they're going to be dropping stuff towards the end of this week, beginning of next week, because today was a media day, so they don't want to have the cloud of all this stuff going on during a media day. So that's what I'm being told, and being understood up on this matter. So Ime Udoka, he's a former NBA player, played under Greg Popovich down in San Antonio. Bounced around to a few jobs. This is his first year head coach. Again, everything I'm going to say is alleged. He had an affair with one female staffer that started off consensual. At some point, that relationship got outed by Brad Stevens. He's the president of the Celtics. Brad Stevens went ahead and said, just stop it. Now, she stopped it, he didn't. That's one version. The other version is that they both continue seeing each other, but that part I'm a little confused on because there's conflicting stories on that particular notion. The VP of Finance wife is the main culprit or the main cheater, right? The VP of Finance, he found this out due to a phone call that she made in front of their front door, trying to go ahead and get out the house. He found this out. A public investigator allegedly has photos, has videos of some of their encounters. They were doing things inside of their house. Again, this is the VP of Finance for the Celtics, right? Also, there's additional females within the organization.
Hey, Dizzy, hold on 1 second. I think somebody may have a hot mic. Everybody, make sure that your mics are muted while he's speaking. I think somebody may have a mic that's on. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, so there's other additional females that he has been coming on to, doing things with. Again, all of these females, they're all white women, and we know how Boston is. It's a completely racist city. It's a sports town, but I'm sorry, Boston is a racist city. So there's all types of stuff. Supposedly he got one female pregnant. That's what I understand. There's another instance where he got caught. Him and another staffer got caught separate from the VP of Finance wife. They got caught up in the training room. And there's another instance where he was caught on video doing banging up in the equipment room or the equipment area. They didn't know if it was an area or a specific room, but he got caught on camera. Essentially, what's gonna happen is, if y'all recall, the New York Knicks, they got busted because of Isaiah Thomas. You know, the old school Detroit Piston dude. He was the president. This brother was running around here pulling his Johnson out, doing all types of wild things while he was president of the New York Knicks. The Knicks had to settle out of court for over $12 million to go ahead and settle this case. I think the Celtics are trying to get ahead of this to go ahead and save the actual organization, embarrassment, and possibly getting fined. That's from what I understand. That's the public stance, is that they're trying to get ahead of this because the husband, he's going to still put out all this information. He's getting divorce lawyers. He's getting all types of stuff lined up. Supposedly, he wants to sue the organization because the organization did not stop this relationship. It's completely weird. It's a complete mess up there right now. So what Matt Barnes saying about 100 times worse, it is 100 times worse. We got babies being born. We got supposed affairs going on with different people's wives, different women getting touched up. Now, I want to talk about this, and I thank you for letting me talk for a long time. I'm sorry, I'm kind of long-winded, y'all. I want to talk about the racial implications, though, because this feeds into that stereotype. Big bad black man. He has an uncontrollable desire to be with these white women, and oh my God, these white women, they're being taken advantage of by the big black.
Nigerian.
Well, he is Nigerian. He is a non-FBA, but in the media, they're gonna play it like he's a big black man. Like, they're not gonna play that distinction between Black American and Nigerian. It's sad.
We're gonna do
because we know what he is. We know exactly what he is. That's not how Black American men get down. We don't do shit like that. We ain't trying to. Why would you be with Nia Long and then do something stupid like this? Come on now, man. But this plays into this racial stereotype. It's sad. It's completely false stereotype. And I feel like this big dummy played right into all these people's hands. And I mean, he supposedly had like whenever Nia Long moved to Boston, supposedly the staffer, she was the one that arranged all of her travel, like all of her travel for her and her son. It's completely sad. It's disgusting. Yeah, man, this is some tether business. I don't want to get too involved. I'm a big basketball fan, so I'm kind of am involved because I have my podcast, but it's disgusting and it's just sad as hell. So I'll go ahead and land my plane. Thank you very much for letting me speak. If anyone wants to retort and have a back and forth dialogue, I'm more than ready.
Are there any sources? Because that's you say a lot of slanderous things. I'm not going to defend that.
Yeah. So this is
okay. Who's speaking real quick? Who's speaking? Because I know this T-Way. It's T-Way. Okay, T-Way, go ahead and raise your hand because we got a couple people in front of you, and we'll go ahead and go ahead and let you get to it because we got a couple people that they're still waiting. Dawn is actually next, and you got Professor, you got Carissa. Then you can go and then Mr. Engagement to go on. But we'll go ahead and let you definitely respond to that. And Dizzy, go ahead and stay in the spot if you can, because like you say, you may have somebody like T-Way wants to go ahead and respond to that. So definitely, T-Way, don't forget your train of thought right there. We're going to get to you. We got to get to Don and Professor because they've been waiting for a minute. So Don, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's up, peoples? Much love to the family.
What's up?
This is sort of our fault on the real, because if you play D1, you play D2, you play D4, you know how these white boys get down. We ain't never said nothing about how the white boys get down. Like, hey, yo, they be on some other shit. When you be like, yo, how you gonna get past this? They get past it. BrettFarve is one who got past it. Now, think about that. There's no water in Mississippi, but his daughter got a goddamn stadium. You know what I mean? Think about how we thinking. We're not on that level right now where we have to understand that. Guess what? This dumbass white boy who can't think. He can't think. He doesn't know 2 + 2 = 4. You know what he does? 2 + 2 = Jello. That's how he thinks. It's funny how we have to understand this now. And we all know. And I know there's a whole bunch of black people who play sports. And you know these people. You know the white boys, you be like, this nigga dumb as shit. But maybe he might make it. But that's a dumbass shit white boy. Now the dumbass shit white boy is saying, guess what? I'm going to take your fucking money. I'm going to take your money. You know what I mean? All you poor niggas, I don't give a shit about you. They've always been the goddamn same way. Now, fuck that. I'm looking at all the brothers and sisters in this room. And I'm like, hey, yo, we all play football. We all play, you know what I mean? Basketball. Well, I play football for real. You know what I mean? And my homeboy, this is the kicker. My homeboy, his name is Amon Green. You know what I mean? So this nigga play with this nigga. So I know this nigga. I'm like, nigga, what's up with BrettFarve? Because BrettFarve is that way. Because it's BrettFarve. No, fuck that nigga. This is the thing that we have to understand. That, hey, yo, they're not playing with us. If they can get any kind of dollar out of us, they will do it. And they've been doing it. And we have to get on that page where we're, guess what, saying to them, like, okay, guess what? You can't get $1 out of us. You can't get 1 cent out of us. Because they're not playing. Nothing in this page, nobody can say, like, hey, yo, well, did you get $5 million to put your daughter up in the stadium? A fucking stadium? Where people aren't drinking right now. They can't drink water. But this nigga can make a goddamn stadium. BrettFarve can make a goddamn stadium. Now, I know that a whole bunch of people are here on their burner accounts. I know that there's a whole bunch of NFL players on their burner accounts. Fuck that, nigga. Nigga, he made a whole goddamn stadium. He made a whole stadium. That's how much he was like, fuck it. I'm saying like this. Hey, fuck it too. I'll let my play.
Appreciate you. And your homeboy, Ahmad Green, I remember he used to play at Nebraska back in the day.
Yep, you know what he did though? He grew up in the 40s and 60s, right off of 8th Ave. He grew up in the islands, nigga. Real talk. That was my nigga. He used to sit there. We used to play Nintendo games. I was like, yo, that's why probably right now he's still a gamer. I don't even talk to that nigga like that, but he know me when I know him, and it's up. You know what I mean? But see, that's the thing. It's like, hey, yo, it's serious. It's serious. When I seen that nigga play, like, oh, shit, nigga, I'm playing on Madden. I'm like, nigga, that's the homeboy. Okay. But now it's something serious when it's money involved. Because you know what I mean? Money is involved. BrettFarve, he got a whole bunch of money. I just had to send 2 G's to my mom's. You know what I mean? I had to send 2 G's to my pops. Like, hey, yo, do y'all got water? I ain't that rich ass nigga. I ain't rich, but I'll send it. Now, see, that's the thing. I'll send it. Like, hey, yo, what do you need? Got you. Now, when it's serious, it's like, hey, yo, when a motherfucker got 5 million and he's, come on now, in Mississippi, we losing up. Nah, there should be we should be in the uproar. But apparently, we're talking about Nia Long's, how her dude is fucking up on her. You know what I mean? We don't even know that dude. You know what I mean? She has a, if it wasn't for Nia Long, we wouldn't know this dude. You know what I mean? That nigga could be sitting on the bench somewhere. We wouldn't even care. But I know what is I know. And I'm just tired of it, bro. I'm tired of it. Like, I'm not going to allow this shit to happen no more. Where people just can have a whole conversation about something that doesn't matter. When I can see my people are hurting. You know what I mean? When I can see them. Like, oh shit, they calling me up. Like, hey, yo, this is what it is. Got you. And they said, like, hey, we got to move down the road. Because I'm like, got you.
That's real talk, bro. That's why we had this space tonight to go ahead and talk about the hypocrisy, what's going on with this whole situation. That's why these two topics, these two people were intertwined tonight. So just so we can see exactly the actual America's actual interest level in one situation over another. So that's why it made the perfect. It was like peanut butter and jelly, just meshing it together tonight. Let's go to Professor. Professor, then we're gonna go to Carissa. Then we're gonna go back. We're gonna get to you, T-Way. Then I'm gonna get to you, Mr. Engage, and then we're gonna get to you, Dizza. So, Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, thank you, Newstoter and DJ, Ray, and Sister Nordos. I see you down there. Good to see everybody up in the space tonight. I just want to say, in regards to BrettFarve, we're going to have to drive the narrative on this. And I'm just being serious, y'all, because the mainstream media is not going to report on this a lot. They probably will do little tidbits here and there, but we will have to drive the narratives on this. We're going to have to stay on top of this because, we don't have a BET anymore, but we do have a Newstoter. Man, we're going to help you, Newstoter, to keep this story alive. So that's what I want to say about BrettFarve. We will not let this one go away. In regards to the other dude, Ime Udoka, or whatever you want to call him, player, slickster, whatever you want to call this dude, it's nothing really you can say about it right now until all the details come out. I will say this, though. On all the so-called alleged reports of him being with the snow bunnies, this is what happens when you want to stick your thing in all these snow bunnies. You're going to end up getting laid out and fired up in the media, and you're going to be lynched. And lynching is not necessarily being lynched in a tree, but you're going to be lynched in other ways. So this is what happens when you're trying to be out here playing with all these snow bunnies. And I land my plane there.
Yeah, we're gonna get to Carissa, but like I say, the man Dom was on point. Like, people up here don't have water to drink, to take a bath with. Mississippi is the poorest of the poor, And yet, not only did he get the money for the volleyball, like I mentioned before, he also got the $3.2 million so he can invest in a drug company. Basically, the welfare system is like their own little Fort Knox down there in Mississippi, except for black folks. Of course, black folk, now you just a lazy nigga if you sitting up here sitting on your ass trying to get some money or whatever. But everybody else, hey, go ahead and go ahead and hit Fort Knox up, get the vault or whatever, run with the bag or whatever. See, this is kind of stuff that black people in this country can't get away with. So I'm glad, Don, that you mentioned that. And like I say, and Ray and DJ could tell you that we've been talking about, damn, what's going on in Mississippi, the water crisis back in April. When we first started holding spaces, I had a news space and made sure we put that up in there. Tried to get the support, tried to get our people before this thing ever hit major news. I will give credit. CNN was one of the first ones to actually publish it, and we curated off one of our curation partners. We talked about it, and we tried to get that narrative out there. So as black people, we got to kind of start looking at black people ourselves and stuff like that, and kind of start putting down the BS. I put out news every day about police brutality, about this, about that. But you know what been the hottest article whatsoever? And not even the welfare thing with BrettFarve robbing people right here and being part of this. The hottest thing has been about Udoka. That's been the biggest thing. Out of all the stuff that we curate and that we tweet out that might get 2-3 people to go to the site and actually look, you got hundreds going in to see this here. And you just shake your head and you sit up there and you listen to black people talk about how serious they are, how serious-minded they are, how determined they are, how they want to do this, how they want to do that. Yet when real content, real news is put out there in front of you, and I'm going to be honest with you. I put it out there because our curation partners, black-owned partners, they put it out there. We put it out there. It is a major story, so it has to be talked about. It has to be covered. But there are way more important issues in the black community than some NBA coach that's a millionaire, like you say, with these snow bunnies running around. It's way more important issues. It's way more things that should be more important to us. And we as black people, we sit up here and we come and we just make all kind of excuses and this and that. Don't blame the white boys on that. That's on the black people. The grassroots has to start to organize themselves a little bit better. You got to start putting the actual agenda out there, man. Carissa, go ahead and unmute your mic. First, Carissa, before you go, let me say thank you to my co-host DJ for your contribution on Cash App. Thank you, DJ, as always. Thank you for appreciating, always supporting, always putting in money, always pushing the content, always everything that we can do. So definitely appreciate that and everything. So let me go ahead and Miss Carissa, I know you have some stuff to say, so go ahead, sister, and unmute your mic.
Hey, good night, everybody. Let's start with that's good. Let's start with the whole BrettFarve thing. I don't understand the hype about him, and I never was as a player when he was a player. But this man needs to be in the jailhouse as of last night. You can't tell me that you're taking money from Mississippi, one of the most unprivileged states that there is, to build not only a volleyball stadium for your daughter, you wanted to build a football stadium as well? Are you kidding me? It's worse enough when he tried to recruit Deion Sanders to the University of Mississippi. But you're taking money from people who don't have water, not even a pot to piss in, for your own leisure? This needs to be front news all over the place. And none of our so-called black politicians are talking about it. All they're saying, vote for us. Don't let me get started on the Democrats, Republicans. Two wings on the same bird. If I was black people, I'd be independent. They're not worth a damn. BrettFarve had been doing stuff in the media for years and getting a pass. Why? Because he's white? Or because he got part Native American on him? Pick your poison. How is it that T.O., he has to wait to get in the Hall of Fame? But this MF, who had history, got in? That's not fair. he should be in the jailhouse. Unfortunately, going to federal prison is like a leisure for celebrities because they go into the fancy jails, and I don't think that is correct. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And now,
go ahead, sister. I'm sorry. I thought you was.
That's all right. No, go ahead.
No. It sounded like you was finished, but if you got more to add, go ahead and add it.
That man disgusts me at the moment. He needs to be in jail. Every last one of them needs to be in jail. RICO, if you could get R. Kelly on RICO charges, please explain this. If you can manipulate the RICO charges to get R. Kelly in jail, why can't you do the same thing for BrettFarve? Nobody wants to hear that. Then again, he is white. And the reason why this is going under wraps, let's bring it home with the Ime situation in Boston. It's already September going into August. And for those who don't know, from September to March, they always knew a new black person for the entertainment news. And shout out to Harvey from Your World for always mentioning that on YouTube. Check out his YouTube channel. He always say that. They always have a black person in the media to equate for a white person's action. There's no better other way to say it. So he's going to get, so Ime's situation with the Boston Celtics is going to get more looks, more views than anything because he's black. Yes, he's Nigerian American. It don't matter. Wait, you do something in this country, you look as a black man, black woman, no ifs, ands, or buts. They're going to make an example out of you. I understand he used to work in Texas. Yeah, he was with the Spurs under Greg Popovich. Not a peep. He went to the Nets. Not a peep. You come from Boston, of all places, to stick your peen. It's nobody's up here. I don't think he did his homework. When it comes to Boston sports, because I am a fan and I run a couple of sports pages with my friends, they are invested from every single sports here in Boston. They know everything. You can't hide anything from the media up here. This might be sports town, but they don't play. You can't hide anything. Tom Brady had got into a car accident up there, and that was front page news. Today they had the media press, and all the Celtics players say today they were confused. But the Celtics organization said something different the other day, which is mind-blowing. And from what I'm understanding, this man was sticking it all over Boston. And not the sisters, the snow bunnies. And those are the one things that will get you killed. As a black person, there's two things in America that they'll get you for. Either murder or sexual harassment. That's it. He picked the wrong state to do that in. Boston media market is just like LA. They don't stop. And a lot of stuff is about to come out. And from what I was hearing, the husband found out what she was doing. He overheard the conversation on their own device. And I'm like, what? Is this woman crazy? And they have found, the Celtics organization knew about this way before. They told him to stop. He did not stop. He kept continuing. That's something they were like, what? Is it the first girlfriend or the other? Because it came out as two when it was breaking. Because Adrian Wojnarowski from ESPN broke this like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, for those who don't know. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on. And today the players look confused. So I don't know what they told them, but something is brewing and is about to get unfolded. And of course, they already plastered her picture all over. And if he's getting suspended, so shall she. And from my understanding, Nia Long didn't find out till when she moved up here, just like everybody else did. And since now we have a black man in our sights, BrettFarve is going to fall under the radar. You're going to hear a couple of certain things from him, but not as much as you want.
Can I interject, sister?
Hmm?
No, we ain't gonna stop with this one. This one, we know what BrettFarve did. Exactly. My people are from Mississippi. Nope, we're not gonna stop. Nope. If you stop, that's cool. I ain't gonna stop.
We're not stopping. We need to.
Yeah, that motherfucker needs to be in the goddamn court of law, sitting there saying like, "Hey, yo."
We need the new black media. We need new black media to keep pushing this. Because there's no way in hell that you're going to sit there and embezzle money from the federal government. Let that be any black person. Jesus Christ, you will be ostracized. Hell, you won't even get a chance to talk. They'll arrest you right there. Why is it any different? This started back in 2017. As quiet as it's kept.
So thank you once again for chiming in, definitely, and you know what I'm saying. Keep keeping me up on the DMs and whatnot, keeping me informed and whatnot too. Like I tell everybody, like just because we do the news don't mean we know it all. So if you guys have like stories and stuff like that, please go ahead and. She's definitely been hitting me up and letting me know some stuff that's been going down as well. So I definitely appreciate that. I also want to give a shout out to Freshner. Freshner, thank you for your contribution on Cash App as well too. So let's go ahead and we're gonna move it over to T-Way, and then we're gonna get the Mr. Engaging, then we're gonna get to Smooth. So T-Way, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I guess I got a couple points to add on to. One, it's very disheartening that a lot of the smut media that gets a lot more clicks. But you know what? It is what it is. That's our society today. Maybe we need our own type of media like that. You know, like all these damn tether controlled media outlets. So maybe y'all can play the fence on both, but you won't be so biased against us. I know you won't be. But it is what it is, and you gotta play the game. And you gotta be relevant. You know. And secondly, we both know BrettFarve is. He's not gonna get in trouble. We didn't fucking convict the all what happened in the 08 crisis with all them bankers stealing everything. It's gonna go right under the rug. He might. Man, 5 years. The man's gonna walk scot clean. He already did. There should be a RICO charge because it seems like they use that fund as a damn slush fund. That's what that was, a damn slush fund. Everybody had their hand in it, but for the people. So it's not surprising that it's going to be getting swept under the rug. Like I know AB when AB was going through whatever he was going through, he stayed in circulation. The man wasn't even playing. He on the sideline, changing teams, got cut by the Raiders, whatever the case is, but he stayed in the media. And this man stole $5 million, and it's very heinous. And it sounds like it was a lot of other people who use it as a slush fund. This should be front news. You know what I'm saying? Every time, I know when Kobe caught that rape case, he stayed on front page. Like, come on now. What's up with the double standard? You know what I'm saying? Tiger caught his case, fucking consensual fucking. But he stole this much. He had his hand in a slush fund. It should be in his current. Like, come on, man. We already know what time it is, and I guess we do gotta. I don't know, man. I saw a post the other day that the Black Panthers used to sue, or they try to sue Tina Turner. Maybe we can get New Black Media or somebody to cover that. See how we can sue these celebrities that are misappropriating and doing harm to us. I don't know. Like maybe we could take it upon ourselves to start suing some of these people that's doing harm to us. I don't know. I know we're very liabilious. What's the word? Legality. We sue very, very frivolous things. Maybe we could donate and tie up some of these people time.
Class action lawsuit. We could do that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, can somebody cover how the Black Panthers sue Tina? Like, I saw a clip like that. Let's explore that. Maybe we start suing people. You know what I'm saying? The same way Scientology sued the government to become a real fucking religion. They just had enough people doing it in enough counties. Maybe we can do that in enough counties to get some goddamn attention. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming here, and I really want to know.
No, you doing it, bro. You doing it.
You know what I'm saying? And like that damn NBA coach, if he did what he did, he basically did what that one comedian did. That was jacking off in bushes and shit. He finna get Me Too. And Me Too had a whole different agenda. You know, Biden can't get Me Too, so he's above Me Too. But we already know what it is. But like, he doing some heinous shit. He fucking leaving babies around all these white bitches. But that's what Nia Long get. You know, bum ass nigga. But see, Nia ain't even FBI. So we love you, Nia. You're a beautiful black woman. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. So you choose. How you not know what your man is doing? Come on now. My wife don't go to my phone like that, but she knows she can. I'm not hiding nothing. I don't face my phone down. Well, how you not know your man do? I know he got money, but goddamn, Beyonce caught Jay. Like, come on, you can't be that naive. Maybe she's a fucking beard. I don't know, but he down to too many white bitches to be gay, so I don't know. But I wish we could maybe explore the Argentina lawsuit so we can get some of our own efforts out here. You know what I'm saying? I'll definitely donate it. I donate it to Marcel faithfully every week. Why not? And why can't we do this?
Real talk.
You know what I'm saying?
Real talk.
So let's explore this. And I guess I can go ahead and I want to hear some of that proof of the young man was saying about that's some heinous shit. He doing some heinous. Heinous. Like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah, we gonna definitely hold on 1 second, y'all. We gonna definitely like I said, we gonna come back around. So those that want to speak, just go ahead and raise your hand. We just trying to get to the people that haven't had a chance to speak yet either. So we gonna definitely move it around the room and get to those that haven't had a chance to speak yet. So
I land there. I made all my points. I think I cleared my chest. I appreciate y'all.
Hey, I just want to say, hey, Allah, come up here. How can we sue somebody, mama? Come tell us, yo.
I'm sorry, Smooth. I had my mic on mute. Go ahead and unmute your mic, Smooth, and then we're gonna get to you, Mr. Engaging.
Yeah, man, this is just another case of white supremacy. You know what I mean? Because you look at Kwame Kilpatrick. They gave this guy 20-some years or something almost similar. Then we had another guy. Forget the white guy's name.
Didn't they let him out of jail though?
He still got time. I think he got like.
Oh yeah, he did that time for sure. Yeah, go ahead though.
Yeah, but the other government, he messed up the Flint water. This guy killed people and damaged people for life. Nothing happened to him, just like BrettFarve, And I could touch on other things. You got Ben Roethlisberger. He out there raping women. It's been proven.
Raping bitches.
And they
bro.
But you got Watson. They tried to throw him under the bus saying he did this and that with no proof at all. So it's just another case. When I say systematic white supremacy, I ain't saying they supreme over me. It's just they control the system and they run the rules that go to that system, and that's how they illegally lock us up, and that's how they keep on scapegoating when they come to their situation. So.
I think somebody accidentally hit the mute button, but go ahead, bro.
But yeah, I was just rocking it out like that. It's just it's systematic white supremacy, bro.
Hey, Ray, mute your mic. Hold on a second, bro. Hey, Ray, mute your mic, bro.
My mic is muted.
Yeah, his Ray mic is muted.
Yeah, I see it now. You got muted on mine. Twitter's trash, but go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just touching on, just another case of systematic white supremacy. But, this is why we got to stand strong together, If we put our money together to get these people soon, get something done, or however, like, it's coming to a time where we just got to do something about it, If you ask me, like I tell people this all the time, I'm like, fuck they politics. We should do our own anyway and police ourselves anyway. But, I'm just a nigga from the projects. But that's it.
Appreciate you, brother. Let's go ahead and get to Aunt Liza. So you came up in here. We may have to drop one speaker because anybody wants to volunteer to drop, because we got some people still requesting to come up. So if anybody wants to drop themselves or whatever, so we can add an extra speaker?
You can drop me down, Newstoter.
Okay, Professor. We'll drop you down for a second. And we want to come back up. Just request to come back up. Go ahead, Aunt Lie. And we're going to go Aunt Lie. We're going to go Mr. Engage. And we're going to go Wani. And we're going to go to you, Dizza.
Hello, how y'all doing for the night? Really cool. Really quick with this kid, the situation, the people who in Mississippi, who the community that he took the money from, they have a legal standing to sue because it's in their jurisdiction, and he literally took the money from them. Also, the government officials that were involved can also be sued. It's basically what I learned about rights and suing. The only rights that Black people have is the rights that the amount of money they have to find an attorney to sue for those rights. So because the money was directly taken from the people in Mississippi, the people in Mississippi have a legal standing to sue him civilly, not criminally. Now, he can be brought up on criminal charges, but the state would have to bring him up on those charges. And as we see, the state is not doing it. So complaints can be filed against the public officials, the attorney general from the state of Mississippi who's not filing a charge. You could sue them civilly for derelict of duty and all those things. You could file complaints against them, but it would most likely be the citizens of, I'm not really familiar with the case, where the money with the league and things like that, but it appears that those people have a right to sue because he directly took those money from those people. And if it was payers, or like Medicaid, then they probably can sue. But you can sue everybody in their mind. I sue the prosecutor, the public defender, the hearing officer. I should have sued the judge because I'm crazy, but I ain't that crazy. But because especially since they're immune, but you can sue anybody. But you would have to find a person to either file the lawsuit or you have to find a paralegal. Because I did in my case, I sued them with no attorney, and I successfully got that. Their motion to dismiss withdrawn. I sued the entire branch of government. But it's possible. You just got to have, be willing to do it. But he definitely deserves it. As far as the other guy who had consensual sex, no offense, I don't care. He didn't even cheat on me. I don't care where he put his thing. If he put it in somebody's ear, he could knock himself out. I don't understand why that's important, why that's anybody's business. The only person who he got to deal with is his baby mama and the snow bunnies. I don't even think it should be news. And I think the fact that people are allowing it to be news is the issue. Because I could care less. If he did not one crime. Like he literally did not. I don't know what he did. It's just irrelevant, the topic, because it's just like, who cares? He got it in. Like, I don't care. But I just feel like because the white supremacy of the media, they're going to focus on the tearing down of a Black man, especially after it was the Black man being to the playoffs, and how the tearing down of the Black family is what they want to do. And we all know the media is racist. So that's what they're going to do. But I just feel like we can't buy into it by clicking on their narratives when they put the stuff out, because the media is extension of white supremacy. And that's why they go after the topics that they go after. And that's why this BrettFarve, I believe somebody said he was illiterate, is not getting any media attention. Because what I learned is white supremacists are not going to hold white supremacists accountable for white supremacy. They're not. That's why I had to sue everybody and their mama, and they looking at me like I'm crazy because y'all thought that I was going to let y'all get away with it, and I wasn't. So, it's possible that they get sued, but white supremacists are not going to hold white supremacists accountable for white supremacy. We got to do that. I'll land my plane.
All right, appreciate you, sister. Y'all make sure y'all support the sister and go out there and buy her book as well, too. It's up in the Jumbotron, you said, DJ, so y'all definitely go ahead and support the sister and buy her book. Mr. Engaging, then we're going to go Wani, then we're going to go Dizza, then we're going to go Carissa, then we're going to go T-Way. So, Mr. Engaging, go ahead and unmute your mic. I know it's been a little minute with Mr. Engaging. He may be in the Matrix. He may be doing something. Mr. Engaging, you there? If not, I'll just go ahead and circle him and come back to him. And we'll just go to Wani. Wani, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, yeah, I had noticed that story went from it's only that one woman and it's, not a pattern of bad behavior, like trying to keep the story contained. And then I think to justify him being suspended. Now, like I said, these places can have morality clauses, they can have ethics clauses, and if you do something they don't like, they can use those to get rid of you if you bring embarrassment to them. But I think to justify that punishment, I think they're going to have that lineup of women. You know how just this mysterious posse of women start lining up out of nowhere saying you did this and that. And it does look suspicious. Like with Bill Cosby, he might have done some things on a casting couch with some people, but then there becomes this big long line of people. Probably everybody he ever met is in the line. So this could be happening with him. But if this has also reminded me of Pete Rose. Remember, he gambled, and then they said he couldn't be in the Hall of Fame, and that was something I noticed. And what BrettFarve is doing is far worse than gambling. So he needs to get his ass charged and not be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, how often though do we see? I mean, because let's be for real. If we look at some of the people, I mean, you got somebody like old baseball player played during Babe Ruth's time. Ty Cobb. Ty Cobb was one of the most racist piece of shits that ever lived. Killed people and everything else. And Ty Cobb is still in the Hall of Fame. They even did a movie about him that Tommy Lee Jones played in back in the day or whatever, in the late 90s or whatever, like talking about his life and whatnot. I mean, this guy was, one of the nastiest, dirtiest, and even when he played, he was a pure cheater, nasty, dirty, everything you could think of, underhanded. Like I say, used to beat on his wives and whatnot. And killed a man, or maybe killed two. I can't remember. Yeah, Ty Cobb is still the Georgia Peach, is what they call him, still in the Hall of Fame.
Damn.
So,
yeah, that really happened. That really happened.
Yeah, look up Ty Cobb. This guy is one of was
that
just.
Really
so you know what? Like so, BrettFarve. That ain't they not gonna do it. BrettFarve would have, even if BrettFarve went to prison, they not gonna take him out, because you know what they're gonna say is that, well, O.J. Simpson, he was on trial for double homicide, and he did serve time for that thing that happened in Vegas, and we didn't take him out the Hall of Fame. So that's gonna be the rebuttal right there. O.J. is gonna be the poster child for why, once somebody's in, they're in or whatever. So that's gonna be. I don't see BrettFarve. They need to make BrettFarve and them do is pay restitution, and like everybody else saying, criminal charges. I just don't see it in Mississippi. The place, I mean, you talk about the land of old Dixie, and this is one of their heroes here. They worship this man down there in Mississippi.
Hey, News. I just want to say, no. We can do stuff. That's the thing. We can do stuff.
Yeah, I'm not saying we can't do something, brother. I'm saying that in the state of Mississippi, a state that's always stuck it to black people, a state right now that's basically got black people don't even have water to drink or whatever. I know we all know how the system goes, and we know how BrettFarve is beloved by them. You're right. We can do something. They should do something. I'm not saying that he should go unpunished. I'm saying that the powers that be up there, this whole thing with this welfare thing, as much as we want to blame BrettFarve, and he's a big part of it, this thing came from the top down. How many political people had their hands in a damn cookie jar here? How many of them? Like they said, a slush fund. People just going in there, just taking. They just giving money to people. But when people that really need it, people that's got a household with kids and stuff like that, people that lost their job, that went through the pandemic, people that's sick and everything else, how many of these people are able to actually get access to this money? See, the time you and I go to get something like that, and we fall on hard times, we just a sorry nigga that wants to live off the system. But here you got multi-millionaire Ted DiBiase back in the 80s, WWF, forget WWE. He used to be WWF back in the day. For those of us that's old enough to remember, it was the World Wrestling Federation, the $1 Million Man. We got you. $1 Million Man. Not only did the $1 Million Man get money, the $1 Million Man, two sons who were also wrestlers got money about this thing here as well. Come on, man. They got non-profits that basically just use as fronts. and all these people getting money and stuff like that. And in Mississippi, the same people, like I said, they won't even give people can't even get down water. They got to drive 20, 30 minutes, miles away to go get something. And this is what, I mean, please. You're damn right, BrettFarve should face something. But is he? That's the thing. Here's somebody who's been handled with kidney gloves from the time he's been a professional athlete. They were suspending everybody else for doing drugs. They suspend somebody for smoking weed. Now you don't had a 300-pound man fall on you all game long. You all broke up and this and that. You smoking a blunt just to try to help you heal up after the game. Yet somebody can pop all kind of painkillers and stuff and then get a record for the longest game streak and this and that, and nobody put an asterisk on that. And they talking about Barry Bonds taking steroids. His home run record don't exist. Yet this man's been taking pain medicine and pain pills and painkillers and stuff like that against the damn league policy, and everybody they sit up and they have a pity party for him.
I'm waiting for somebody to go against that.
That's a great point, because it's not feeling pain playing football.
That's the biggest point.
That's a great point.
Let's go ahead to then we missed engagement was next, but Dizzle, you next, Carissa, T-Way, anybody else that wants to get back up here, raise your hand too. But like
we got a new speaker, Mama Bear, right here.
Oh, okay, Mama, you want to? I mean, sometimes people ask come up to speak, but they don't have their hands up, so we don't know if they want to speak. Mama, you want to speak?
Yes, I'm sorry about that. This is my first time speaking on Spaces. Hi, everyone.
Go ahead, sweetie, no problem.
I just want to say on the BrettFarve, I think you guys are doing the right thing by bringing it attention with the hashtag. I think if we keep bringing attention to it and don't let it, go get out of the spotlight, he's going to get in a lot of trouble. But if we just let it, blow over, like every time a new headline come about and we let it blow over, then he's going to get away with it. The other thing, I've been listening to a lot of the things about Ime. I think that's how you say his name. I think the problem is, from listening to everyone talk about it, is the Celtics are the one at fault. I believe they knew Ime was wilding. They kept trying to cover it up because he's a great coach and they didn't want to lose him and all the money they invested in him and the team and everyone loves him. And I think it's the father, he's the father because I guess he wants to get the divorce, but the husband of one of the women is the one leaking the story. So I feel like they forced the Celtics to make a statement. And the reason why the woman's name is not out, probably because they have children. Because everyone's children, they're in school, they're going to be embarrassed. But I think that's what's going to happen. They had lawyers investigating. So the Celtics might be at fault because one of your callers said that there's tapes of them being all different places throughout the workout place. I think that's what the Celtics did. That's why they said it was consensual, because they're trying to cover for what they were trying to cover up. That's what I think. That's all. Thank you.
If the Celtics knew all this stuff was going on the whole time and they did nothing about it and they kept sweeping it under the rug and eventually it became like a volcano and it erupted everywhere, then the Celtics need to sit their dumb ass down.
Yeah, that's what I think what happened. Didn't you look at them? They looked like they wanted to cry when they was on the news, when they was making their statement, right? They looked so upset, and they didn't know, because what happened is the husband found, if you listen to all the news, the husband finally, they probably was like, no, nothing's going on. And then when she was trying to arrange the hookup outside the house, the husband was like, I knew something was going on. So he went to the Celtics and he went crazy. And he probably was like, I wanted to get out there because it didn't need to be out. I think everyone's right. This should have been an in-house. No one knew about it. He got suspended. No one knew why, X, Y, and Z. But he was like, nah, I'm mad, and I want Nina Long to know too. And that's what I think happened. I think the husband leaked the story.
Well, I'm going to put it this way, that we live in an era, too, that I think the Celtics trying to cover their ass. Like you said, the Celtics now know, like, when these white women get up there, and if they sit up there and they said that they were a victim of something, they're afraid of getting hit with a lawsuit.
Yeah.
So they definitely thinking like, oh Lord, well, we got to go in and we got to jump in front of this before this thing really, really escalates and whatnot. So they're willing to throw people out there, and I'm not condoning. I don't know all the facts. I don't know what happened. This guy may have been a raving lunatic. I just find it hard that the Celtics, which is one of the most storied franchises in all the sports, let alone basketball, would sit up here and repeatedly keep giving warning after warning after warning after warning to this. I mean, you're not talking about the Los Angeles Clippers here. You're talking about the Boston Celtics, the team with the second most championships in NBA history. So just sit up here and they just this is a head scratcher to me, to say the least. That they set up here and they said that this guy was basically, and we know how the stereotype of black men being over sexualized, can't control himself. They got this black guy, this big buck, running all throughout the actual the Celtic team office. He's hopping on any and everything that has a skirt up there. They warned him and they told him he's getting women pregnant allegedly and all this other stuff that people saying now. And now y'all find, and not only that, you didn't fire the guy. You gave him an option. You say either you can quit, you can resign, or you can be suspended for a year. Like, where in the hell does this happen at? And this guy was
that out of control. They want to keep him.
What?
They want to keep him, and then look what they let happen to those women. Why didn't they out the woman so all the other women can stop being dragged in the news? I think they're going to have a lawsuit too, because I know if that was me, I would sue. Because the franchise didn't protect me.
Oh yeah, and there was one lady I think had to shut down her social media stuff because she was getting blamed as one of the women he was having an affair with. And they were saying that she definitely wasn't one. So you're right. She may have a case like, hey, I went through undue stress because the Boston Celtics wouldn't stand up as an organization and look out for me and protect my reputation. So I had to go ahead and I'm getting threats and I'm getting all kind of damaging this and that or whatever. So you're right. That's something else that they're gonna have to look into as well. Dizzy, I see you back up here, bro. No, go ahead, Ray. What you was gonna say?
I was just gonna 2 seconds. I was gonna say we definitely give props to Robert Griffin III or RG3. A lot of people know him. He's one of the only celebrities, and I use air quotes, that has kept this BrettFarve scandal in the news. I land there.
Yeah, and that's kind of surprising with Robert Griffin because he definitely skates on that side of a lot of. I don't want to call him man a Tom or anything, but he definitely he says a lot of stuff sometimes. I just shake my head. I was like, okay, RG3.
He definitely been saw shooting in some magazines.
Yeah, he definitely. So that's kind of surprising with RG3 because he's online and stuff talking about.
I agree with you on that one, Tyler. He be wishy-washy, but he definitely Ray is definitely right on this particular topic though.
Yeah, like I said, that's surprising, but that's good that he actually did it. So I'll give him a shout out there because I know sometimes he'd be on Twitter and stuff talk about look at his white wife's behind and all kind of stupid stuff like that. So yeah, like that definitely that's surprising with him. But I'll get a brother his due on that one. Dizza, go ahead. We're gonna go Dizza. We're gonna go Carissa. We're gonna go T-Way. And anybody else that wants to speak, go ahead and raise your hand.
For sure. Just a few points. The brother T-Way. He had said, how'd you know? I have a sports podcast that I do. So I got some information from someone that's fairly close to the organization. As far as the information, because today is media day, so all the teams are pretty much showcasing all of the players. That's why you might see photos of LeBron and KD and other players. So from what I understand is more details, they will come out eventually, right? But they're holding it off until either the end of this week or next week. They're trying to let media day, they're trying to let everything just kind of rest. So that's kind of what I understand about further details. And once we get further details, then you'll know more about this matter. Those are the details that I know. As far as him, the relationship was consensual, then it became. That's the split. It's either it became one-sided or they just went behind the Brad Stevens, the president's back, and that caused issues and friction. You said what?
You talking dumb. You know that, right?
I'm talking dumb?
Yep.
Wait, hold on, y'all. One person at a time. Let's not attack anybody. Let the person go ahead and say what they got to say. If anybody want to say something, raise your hand. let's go ahead and be respectful as much as possible to people. Let's go ahead. We're gonna have a difference of opinions up in here, but we know we pretty much let people go ahead when they get the mic and speak freely. Please let the person speak. Show some respect. I don't want anybody interrupting anybody else talking. Let's keep a nice intellectual dialogue going on up in the space right now. So let's please y'all. Let's be respectful and mindful. Let's show some discipline, black folks. Go ahead, Diz, and finish what you were saying.
Before I was rudely interrupted. So those are the details about the Udoka case that I know of. At the end of the day, just like the other sister said, like this is shade room. This is baller alert, baller status, whatever that blog. This is fodder for that type of stuff, the TMZ stuff. The real thing that black people really need to be focused on is this BrettFarve thing. As far as I believe that this should fall under, RICO charges. And if y'all go back and play back that Fonnie Willis clip where she was outlining why she's hitting Young Thug and Gunner and all those guys with, RICO charges, the same stuff that she was saying applies up in this case. The same exact stuff. Once you guys read about the case, read how the governor, read how Ted DiBiase and BrettFarve and all these guys. So these guys should be thrown underneath the jail. Now, Fonnie Willis is in Georgia. This is Mississippi. It's two different states. So that's another thing. But that's her interpretation of the law. So it should apply to that. Because the same thing goes on with the, R. Kelly case. So that's my whole thing. So we need to go ahead and keep our neck up on this BrettFarve thing, because BrettFarve, as far as this guy right here is an absolute criminal. What he's doing is criminal. At the end of the day, simple and that. Now, what do you guys say, brother?
Okay,
I'll be respectful. I'll be respectful because you cut me off, but I'll be respectful because this ain't my.
I love how you look at this. I love talking to niggas from all over the country. For real, you right.
Hey, Newstoter just told y'all, man. Be respectful of one another and be respectful of
not only that, but we had
the day, just keep your comments to yourself and just move on with the story, y'all. Go ahead.
Not only that, but like I say, if you want to speak, because we got a couple people that already got their hands up, and that's Wade. We got Carissa and we got T Wade next. Even I know he put his hand down, so they was next. So if anybody after those two want to speak, just go ahead and raise your hand, and we will allow you to speak with no problem.
Well, I'm going to just land my plane up on that and go ahead and pass the mic over to, I don't know who was next, but I'll just pass the mic off to someone else.
It's Carissa and T-Way, and anybody wants to speak after that, because we're not going to go much longer. So go ahead and get your questions. Go ahead and get your comments in while you can, while the space is going, because we're not going to go too much longer. So Carissa.
Before you pass the car, I just want to say they're already trying to frame what's going on with BrettFarve as not stealing, but saying that he knowingly received stolen goods, i.e. misappropriated funds. So I land there.
Yeah, of course. What else are they going to say? Carissa, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you. There's everything that you said, because I know you said you had the podcast in regards to the Celtics. I heard the same thing. I used to intern for the Celtics legal department back in 2007 in my early years in college. So I know I'm familiar with a lot of them over there. So yeah, I'm hearing the same crazy stuff over there. As for BrettFarve at the current moment, how come they're not looking into the former governor, Phil Bryant? He had a handle in it, as well as the not-for-profit founder, Nancy New. Those are two other people that I think everybody needs to look at, because the text messages did show a link in between them and all the fun and them approving all the funds. And I think it's time for a class action suit for everybody in Mississippi against those legal personnel. And also, I would like to say this. It's now September. There's going to be a whole lot of stories pertaining to Black people for the next couple of months, because that's how the news cycle works. So anything that we see, we have to take it cautiously because they always like to distract. Right now, we need to pay attention to this whole BrettFarve thing to get him in jail and these elections. Because Georgia right now is a do or die for them. And I also think in Los Angeles, too, anybody's out there, that needs to be addressed. Right. We need to start looking at all these politicians. Just because they're black with a pretty face does not mean that we're putting them in office anymore. If there's no tangibles for the American blacks, and we mean we're not putting ourselves with the Hispanics, the LGBT, nobody. If it's not for black Americans, we're not voting for you. Enough is enough. We're the only group who keeps voting Democrat and getting a slap in the face. Right now, we have a whole bunch of migrants here now in New York, and the shelters are already back, and they're looking for what? New affordable housing. We have to do a better job as black people with these politicians, their records, what they believe in, and their stance. It's sad that myself from South Carolina, he didn't win. That would have been a huge win for us if we had got him in. We have to pay attention more carefully to these politicians. To hell what these celebrities saying, because they are part of us, but they're not part of us. They live in their high rises, their fancy cars, everything in the store. We're still the average people who have to go to work and make a living. We're the ones who are busting our asses. And unfortunately, some of our people are lost with that. If it's not pussy popping, gang stuff, anything, it's like they don't care about. But vote on your local. What that means, your judges, your court,
Carissa,
your governor,
sister,
everything.
I don't mean to cut you off, but we're gonna try to just move it a little bit. So if you
all
can
right,
land
you're
your
good.
plane.
All right, you're good. That's what we got to focus on. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was rough.
I'm sorry. What was that, bro?
Sometimes when black women talk, it's just so much love, and they don't even know that they talking to me.
What the fuck is you talking about, homeboy? Are you the same ones talking that slick shit? What are you talking?
Okay, who in the hell is that talking? Like Jesus, like what in the world going on here? Hey y'all, I think the brother was just saying there was a lot of love going on. I don't know what's going on. We're trying to go ahead and get around the room. We just asked everybody to go ahead and chill out and speak one at a time. So I don't know exactly. I don't even know who said it. I can't even see whose phone it was or whatever actually said that comment. But I'm going to ask y'all one more time to chill. It's not that serious. It's a conversation. That's one thing black people need to learn, how to actually have a conversation and disagree without it actually getting out of hand. So let's go ahead and, like I said, let's try as grown men up in here to show some discipline. Because we asked y'all already to please just go ahead and chill out. We're gonna go to T-Way, then we're gonna go to Original, we'll go to Dizzy, and then we're gonna get ready to close the space out. Okay, T-Way.
That was me that came off the mic. I don't know. Maybe I shot too quick, but
what the fuck was you talking about?
It sounded like my bad. It sounded like you forget your.
Okay. Okay, y'all. Like I said, I mean, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and try to have in this space on a positive note, because we were talking about some real positive stuff in here, constructive stuff. Let's go ahead and try to end that T-Way. I think you jumped the gun with the brother. The brother wasn't saying anything slick. I know he may have said something to Dizza before, and like we tried to de-escalate that and everything. So let's go ahead and finish this space on a positive note. And like I said, if we can't end the space on a positive note, then we're just going to go ahead and we're going to just move people from speaker and move it around, and those that actually can add to the conversation. So, Don, I think the brother's trying to say that he made a mistake there. I know you want to go in, brother. If you could not and just relax or whatever, we'll go ahead and we'll get this thing straightened out. Go ahead, T-Way.
No, by no means was I going to go in, and I was just saying I was going to pump my brake. You know, you can hold your gun on the mute, I don't think we're going to escalate it to the level that you might perceive so quickly. But it sounded like he was going to be disrespectful. Maybe I jumped the gun too quick because I did hear some of them building. But anyway, moving on from the point. And I think it was beautiful what the young lady was saying. And Marcel did not lose per se. Joe Biden ran for presidency 4 times. A lot of people ran for office several times before they break through. You know what I'm saying? And it's just lessons you got to learn, and you got to pay your dues. You know, championships a lot of times aren't built until they're ready to break through. You know, like they got to go through some stuff. So that's all this is. We got to go through some things before we take our place. But y'all said a lot of great points, and we don't need to let this whole BrettFarve thing be swept under the rug. And I guess I followed the young lady who said she wanted to sue Aunt Live. Hey, maybe this is a great point. We can start suing people. You know what I'm saying? We can start coming together. If Tariq can raise $1 million and Marcel can raise 150,000, or whatever he raised, like we all got family. I know I got family in Mississippi. I got family in Louisiana. I got family all across. You know, we can get behind some people that can start suing these people in different counties, all of them. You know, maybe we can actually get our voices heard through them if that's the right, channels to be able to wield some power. If that's even legal. You know, but we can get some educated people or educated in this battle, in the courtroom, to get behind that. But we definitely need to sue or bring the whole slush fund crony, because they're keeping that fund fully funded for their own personal gain. They're denying. I think I saw someone they're denying a high level percent of being denied. They were doing that on purpose. So from top down, it was just corrupt. But we all know that they're going to get off scot-free if we let them. You know what I'm saying? Well, last time somebody served St. Patrick, you know, that Detroit mayor, when last time we saw that, a white person go to prison for that? It's very rare. But we can get the people civil suits. Maybe that could be some form of restitution. And I go ahead and land it there.
Hey, yo, can I say something to homeboy?
Go ahead,
hey, yo, homeboy.
Oh, man, I don't know disrespect either, brother.
No, I know.
Much love, brother. Much love.
On real talk, Don comes at you with love, nigga. Real talk, nigga. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Trust me. I love you, bro. Nigga, I want the whole room to leave with love for our people. You not understand that. It's our people. I don't give a fuck about anybody else. It's our shit. This is our shit. I love you, brother. You don't have to say nothing more to me.
I appreciate you boys. You know, you gentlemen just hashing it out like men. So that's how men do. You know what I'm saying? No, it's no ill will. So we appreciate that as men. Know what I'm saying? Standing on your sword and whatnot. So we definitely appreciate that, brothers. Let's go ahead, Original. I know you haven't had a chance to speak up in the space tonight. Go ahead and unmute your mic. But before you do that, y'all make sure you're following the host and co-host, largest curator of Black News a Day in America, whether it's news, politics, business, education, lifestyle, culture, sports, entertainment. You guys need to make sure you're following Newstoter. More content put out than any other Black-owned news curation platform in America, the largest Black-owned news media curation today in America. So definitely go ahead and support that. Not only the largest Black American-owned news curation platform today in America. So also support on Cash App. That's $Newstoter. That's $Newstoter. Go ahead, Original.
Yeah, peace and lineage-based preparation for the descendants of the Black enslaved. I just want to say this real quick. Someone brought up Fannie Willis. Well, see, what Fannie Willis is doing now, she used the RICO Act. There was a so-called cheating scandal here in the city of Atlanta. And all these teachers she went after were Black. And not only that, see, there was other counties in the state of Georgia where white teachers was accused of doing the same thing. They wasn't charged at all. And she's not using the RICO Act to go after Donald Trump and all those people that assisted him in trying to overturn the elections here in Georgia. So I just want to say that because that's how they operate. Because see, even her predecessor, you all may have heard of that 92-year-old Black grandmother that was killed, and the police killed her in her house and tried to stage the scene. And when Paul Howard, when he got those guys convicted. But what he did, they always get these white folks get out of jail free card. He gave them concurrent sentences versus consecutive, where they would have really served some time. Even a black mayor here, she came out yelling and screaming that at the time that this was a clean bus, and she backed these officers 1,000%. And when all that stuff came out, you never heard a peep of her apologizing to that family publicly. And so I would say it will be up to us to keep this BrettFarve thing alive and try to get some measure of justice. Because just because these people look like us, that don't make them one of us. And I'll land with that.
Definitely appreciate you, Original. Definitely appreciate you. Let's go ahead and we did T-Way. We did I think Dizzle, we'll go ahead and let you get your get a say in there, and then we're gonna go ahead and we'll
go ahead. Well, I was just saying because like the brother kind of addressed me. I'm not trying to cape for Fonnie Willis. I think she's terrible. We should have got Paul Howard in. but you know, I'm just saying as the Rico case charges that was lined up by her, what she said, this whole situation with BrettFarve, this should be a damn Rico. That's just simple and plain. The way that she spelled it out, the way that the DA over in LA, the way that the Chicago DA lays it out, this is Rico, simple and plain. So BrettFarve and all these people need to be brought up. Now I do know, I believe the governor, the former governor, I believe today or yesterday, he did get interviewed or something happened where he got interviewed or interrogated about this matter. So I think they are trying to move on this, but they're moving very, very slow. I mean, this has been 2-3 years now, so it's a very slow moving case, very slow moving matter. And this is a terrible thing, and you know, definitely I'm looking forward to them moving forward and getting and putting this race soldier up in jail. Since this space is, shutting down, if anyone's making another space, please let me know so we can go ahead and further talk about this. I'll go ahead and ask
Special socks. I got you. Name another one. We got you, homie. Put it up. Ain't nothing stopping. Real talk. If these motherfuckers want to talk about like we don't got water in Mississippi, all right, then nigga, we're gonna put some Mississippi on the spot. It's over.
All right, appreciate that. Appreciate y'all chiming in. Ray and DJ, y'all got something? Ray, you want to add something?
Yes, but it's not pertaining to what we have talked about tonight. I am asking everyone who's in the space, if you would please look in the Jumbotron all the way starting from the left. Excuse me. 2 days ago, my daughter's life was threatened. I had a guy out in, I believe it was San Francisco or Sacramento, is threatening to shoot my child. My daughter is only 13. That is my daughter in my picture with me. For no reason other than me and him were having a disagreement. I have contacted Sacramento police. I've contacted the police down here in Florida, and I'm kind of getting a runaround because I'm trying to file a report. So I'm trying to keep keep this pressure on them, because you know, with just certain things you don't play about, especially about my kids. And then he sent another message which I never even put out. He said,
Can I ask you a question, brother? Why'd you call the police? Why'd you just go kill that nigga?
Because I don't know who he is, and he's somewhere in California.
Okay, then, dude, come on now. I don't know how y'all niggas be talking. Wait.
Hold on, Don. Let the brother go ahead and let him go ahead and say this, because this is pertaining to his family. So I don't want anybody. Let's. That's one thing. We've been getting a lot of people cutting in and stuff like that. Let my man go ahead and talk about his family And then, know what I'm saying? Because we getting ready to close this thing out in a second. So he's just trying to go ahead and send a message out. So I don't want anybody cutting in and while he's actually talking.
No, but to answer this question, yes, obviously the police have been contacted, but I haven't really been getting anywhere with them. So I'm asking everyone that's in the space if they will please retweet it. So I'm just trying to keep it alive because I'm not letting that go, and I'm going to land on that. Did the brother done? Oh, you already dropped it down. Oh, never mind. I was going to ask if you have any more because I called the police.
My bad, brother. I just don't know how to deal with shit like that. When people are talking about their family, I don't. Only thing I know how to do is kill for my family.
No, I'm with you, bro. I'm military. Well, I'm ex-military, so I trust me.
So you know what to do then, right?
But you gotta understand, I don't know who this person is. Like me and him are never met. It's not like he's 2 houses down the street or some shit.
Okay, can you hit me up with a DM?
All right, we'll talk, man. We'll talk. We ain't gonna talk about murder and all this other stuff. This is recorded space. So.
Yeah. Let's not. We're not talking about that on the space right there. Nobody. Just for those listening, nobody's talking about any bodily harm done here. This is just a conversation, so just to let people know that there's no talk about bodily harm being mentioned here on the Newstoter space.
I like cotton candy and gummy bears.
Okay.
DJ, go ahead. You want to go ahead and add something, bro?
But I don't.
Nah, that's it, bro. You know, we agree to agree. And yeah, BrettFarve should be in jail. Welfare. Eat a real welfare queen.
Hey, News, I think Sister Wanda wanted to add one more quick thing, if that's okay with you.
Go ahead,
Little Wanda talk.
No, I just wanted to find out what Don was drinking.
Hey, yo, I'm drinking on some Hennessy.
Or smoking.
I'm smoking on some weed. You know, it's some West Coast shit. You know what it goes. I'll be drinking and I'll be smoking, baby. And you still the prettiest girl out there. When can I find you? If I could find you in Indonesia, would you like me?
And where?
Indonesia. Just as the name of a random country.
Wait a minute.
We'll let y'all work that out. We'll let y'all work that in the back channel right there.
Hey, News.
We'll let y'all play matchmaker in the back area right there.
A lot of fun.
So let me just go ahead.
Wait, hold on now. Hold on, y'all niggas. Look, niggas. Because I know. Wait.
Is this player drunk? Are you drunk?
We'll let you, bro. We'll let you go ahead and holler at Wani in the back channel because we getting ready to close this thing out. We've been going for a couple hours straight, so when it gets to this section, Newstoter, we got to go ahead and do the thing and go ahead and get that sign off. So let me just go ahead and thank everybody that came up in the space, all the speakers, Ray, DJ, of course, y'all the co-host. So let me thank Wani, Don, Carissa, T-Way, Mama, everybody that came up and spoke tonight. We had a really, really nice space. I appreciate y'all. We're going to have, tentatively, we're supposed to have Judge Joe Brown on this week. So y'all make sure y'all come back. We're going to be talking about political landscape and whatnot. So y'all make sure y'all catch us. Tentatively, we're supposed to have the judge on Wednesday or whatever.
Thank you. I'm so glad you mentioned that. I ain't going to lie. That kind of slipped my mind. I had with this whole situation with my daughter. Do you need me to reach out to my cousin or do you have it?
I hollered at him. I talked to him. I think it was Saturday. I think we talked. It was either Saturday or Sunday. We talked briefly. He said that everything is cool. So I'm gonna just go ahead and confirm with him tomorrow, whatever, to make sure. But we had a space at 8:00. So the judge normally come in late or whatever. So we're gonna go ahead and probably if it's scheduled at 8, judge ain't probably gonna be in about 9:30. So we'll just have to keep it rolling until he actually get up in the space and get it going. So yeah, I appreciate that, man. And we'll have a judge. It's been a couple months since he's actually been in one of the Newstoter spaces. So this should be a pretty interesting conversation. So y'all make sure that everybody in the space, y'all see it. When we tweet that out Wednesday, y'all go ahead and y'all tweet it out as well, and y'all make sure y'all join us for that conversation and whatnot. It's gonna be a political one. So definitely have your questions ready because you know the judge, he's got an answer for everything, y'all. So let me go ahead and once again just give y'all a shout out and thank you once again about this BrettFarve welfare news and I can't even say his name. The NBA player coverage. I'm sorry, y'all. The name just get me. I'm sorry. Me alone, man.
You cheated on Love Jones. You ain't shitting it.
Yeah, so yeah, y'all. And check us out tomorrow. Y'all know we always 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Thursday. We down here in Florida. We hoping that we looking at a possible hurricane. So whoever got their mic on, go ahead and yeah. We'll be looking at a possible hurricane, so hopefully we won't get hit by a hurricane and we can do our normal Twitter spaces, to say the least. So we'll definitely be keeping y'all posted on the news and the weather down here. So I appreciate everybody that came in. Also support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. So until tomorrow, y'all, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll see you guys. Y'all have a good night.
Peace.